I spoke last week about this looming crisis that a highly contagious foot and mouth disease has spread through Indonesia. The Federal Agriculture Department has issued urgent warnings to travellers to Bali in a desperate attempt to stop bringing the disease home. Barnaby, are you confident that everything is being done to prevent an outbreak here?
Absolutely not. And this is right at the forefront of people's minds. In fact, I've got people ringing me up now wanting me to speak at a forum, a demonstration, a show of support in Dubbo that's been happening tonight. They insisted I get down there. Let's look at this, Alan. It's foot and mouth disease for cloven hoof animals. So you lose your cattle industry, you lose your sheep industry, you lose your pig industry, you lose your goat industry, and then camels go. So I suppose they're camelids, so alpacas would have to go as well. Now, when you go into a supermarket and there is no pork on the shelf, no beef on the shelf, no mutton on the shelf, no lamb on the shelf, no goat on the shelf, your grocery bill is going to go through the roof. So this is not just a problem for agricultural Australia, disaster for agricultural Australia. This is a big problem for Australia, full stop. And when we look at it, when it comes in, and what they're doing right now, it'll come in. This is ridiculous. What they're doing is pathetic. A couple more dogs at Cairns and Darwin, a social media campaign and flyers. Yeah, well, they'll fix it. I mean, that certainly will stop anything, won't it? That would stop a comet, something like that. Now, you've got to actually say to people, listen, if you're going to Bali, buy a really cheap pair of shoes because you're going to drop it in the bin on the way back and we'll give you some slippers. We'll give you some thongs. You are not wearing those shoes you wore in Bali into Australia because it will come in. You hear the stories, the nightmarish stories. I heard one the other night when foot and mouth was in England, and this farmer was saying, I could see the fires because they have to destroy all your cattle, and each night the smoke was getting closer and closer and closer. And he was thinking, but there's no stock moving on my place, so I should be right. Then one day he went down to put the bulls with the heifers, and the bull wasn't walking well. He walked up to it, foot and mouth. All had to be destroyed, all shot and then burnt, incinerated. Now, this will arrive here. This will arrive here unless it's a real test of competence for the new Labor government. It's an absolute test of competence. And the way they're going at the moment, it's an absolute fail. This will be devastating. No transport operators, no abattoir workers, no sale yards, so there's no money for the hairdresser, no movement of stock, can't move farming plant because it's been on country that's had foot and mouth. If it gets into the feral pig population, God help us, they should be having a campaign right now saying, this will be the baiting program. We're going to start right away on feral pigs. This will upgrade the potency of the bait, will increase the delivery of the bait. This will be our plan. Will be no more people coming back from Bali wearing the same shoes or soiled clothes. It will not come into Australia. It will be left off. There'll be massive fines for people who trespass on people's property from this point forward so that we completely institutionalise people or train people not to go wandering onto farms. And then we should have forefront vets, I suppose they should be that are actually working in Bali, trying a vaccination program or whatever they can to try and push this disease back. Don't wait for it to get here, push it back. If it gets into Papua New Guinea and Boigu Island, north of Australia, you can see the boats leaving Papua New Guinea.